right, guys, it's Brandon Hegg here with another high power highlight for you. Today I want to talk a little bit about insurance and approaching and discussing insurance with clients. One of the things that, if you've worked in this industry enough, you kind of know is a lot of people are woefully underinsured for what it is they want to accomplish. Now, what's the challenge here is pricing. It's another expense, and it's the one thing that you buy that you hope you never use. So what do you do and how do you have that conversation? What I would say is this is a conversation that should come up once a year, every year with your client. And how I would approach this, how I've seen a ton of success with this, is taking a step back and allowing the client to lead the conversation. So here's how I've seen it and here's how it works. First and foremost, Mr. Miss Client, this is a part of the job. This is a conversation I'm not excited to have, but it is my job to make sure we're talking about this. So what I want to do is I want to run a little bit of a fire drill. If you weren't here tomorrow, knock on wood, what would you want to see happen over the first few months financially for your surviving family? You start there, and then you help the conversation go along by suggesting things that they may want to accomplish. Do you have a mortgage that you'd want to pay off? How much would that cost? Do you have any car loans you'd want to pay off? How much would that cost? Do you have any debts you'd want to pay off? How much would that cost? If you weren't around to earn an income, do you want to provide some years of income for your family so that they can continue their lifestyle? Great. How much would that cost? Family members, parents, do you have a second home? Do you have other vehicles? Do you have college funding for your children you'd like to help with? How much would that cost? And you continue to work down that question line until you've exhausted all the questions and the client feels like they've got a pretty good plan of what they would want to see happen if they weren't here. Now, your next step is after you've captured how much will that cost, add them up. And then you tell the client, well, Mr. Miss Client, to get everything accomplished that you wanted to get done, it's going to cost you 1 million, 1.5, 2 million, whatever the number is, add it up and share that with them. And then you say, how much do you currently have in place? Now, if they're like most clients out there, they're going to be underinsured to accomplish what they want. So for this example, let's say they needed 1.5 million of insurance and they only have 500,000. Now, most people will say, look, you've got a gap of 1 million. I'm going to help you figure that out. Don't do that. What you want to do is you want the client to internalize and recognize that there's a gap. So take a step back and say, okay, to get this done, you need 1.5. You told me you have $500,000 of coverage. So what comes off the list? And then you stop. Ask them, you want this to happen, but it can't. So what isn't going to happen for you? And let them tell you if they can afford to sacrifice something or if all of these things need to happen. Because if they come back and they say, well, Brandon, I just told you I needed all this to happen. Great. Then it looks like we have a gap. I'll take a look and figure out the most effective and efficient ways to fill that gap. And I'll bring you the solution on our next meeting. You don't want to convince the client or assume they've got it. Let them tell you what they need, and then you solve the problem. Until next time, stay high power. I'll be back with another high power highlight in another few weeks. Let me know if there's any way I can help, but we'll talk to you next time.